Who's the body? The fact that we're still closing this door is a source of amusement, and you'll see why. Demolition is done. We have removed walls, we have removed the roof, we have removed windows, we've removed all the cupboards and a few other things around the property. Now it's time to put the house back together. But before we do that, let's take a look at how it started and how it's going. I'm also going to answer 3 of the questions you sent in this week, and we're going shopping at Platinum Imports. I'm Kelly Johnley, and this is Bajan Renovation. Now to the questions. The first one, were there any property expenses that really surprised you? Yes, the first time I purchased a property, I was surprised when I realized that I had to put general insurance and life insurance in place before the property closed. So life insurance, as the name implies, covers your life. In the event that you pass, the value of the policy that you took out will satisfy the outstanding balance on the mortgage. So your estate does not have to be concerned about how they're going to pay for it. That policy is going to take care of that. The other one, general insurance now, it covers the property against risks that we hear of often: fire, flood, hurricane, earthquake, and other perils. So in the event that the property is damaged, that policy will respond. Those both need to be in place before you close on a mortgage, and I'll talk to you a little bit later about why you really do need to pay attention to these policies and have them in place. Question 2. What's one thing you wish you knew at the beginning of your property journey? This has absolutely nothing to do with money. This is all about confidence. I wish I knew that I was capable. Up to the point that I bought my first property, I either lived with family or lived with a partner. I had never been responsible for such a large or singular financial undertaking. And I was nervous. You've heard everybody's horror story, all the things that could go wrong, and everybody is giving you unsolicited advice. And you develop a resistance to the process you have not even started. But once I got started, I realized it was not as daunting as I thought. My first property did have a minor renovation, so I was able to get through that, and my confidence built. Did I make any mistakes? I don't think I made any mistakes, but it was more just being surprised and unaware. But you can do this. The same way you can tackle professional changes, or you can embrace child raising and go through these big transitions. Taking on a property is exciting. Yes, there is a learning curve, but you are more than capable. I do not have any specialist financial knowledge, or I'm not a contractor, but what I can tell you is that if I can learn, you can learn, and you may even enjoy the process. So if you're nervous, and I know some of you are because you are blowing up my DMs when the day comes, give yourself some grace. You're doing something new. And yes, you know, you are going to have a little anxiety, but the fact that you may feel this way does not mean that you cannot do it. The third question, I had to sit down for this. What was the best piece of financial advice when it came to property that you ever got? I was tempted to say location, but the more I thought about it, it was really this. Someone told me early on, Kelly, borrow. What you can borrow is not what you should spend. Buy way less house than you can afford. And at that time, the decision was made that I would not purchase a house that was more than 25% of my income. And 25% is fairly low, and property in Barbados is not cheap. But let me tell you how that saved me. It allowed me, one, to pay ahead on that property very quickly. It also allowed me to save. The fact of the matter is more women are buying properties on their own. Actually, more single people are buying more properties on their own. And you have to manage your income in a way that not only covers the life that you have now, but things that may happen in the future. You will have kids. You may have care work in terms of taking care of your parents. You do not know what the next 10, 15 years will hold, and your property will likely be there with you. So the less you commit to upfront, the more fiscal room you give. You can also take that advice whether it is for a property you're going to be living in or for investment purposes. It has saved me, and to be honest, I don't think I would have been able to purchase multiple properties. Actually, I know I wouldn't have if I tapped out on my debt limit so early in the game. Borrowing less than I could get was the best advice that I got. So what's happening next? You've seen the before, how it started, how it's going. The next step is formwork. We mentioned that we're raising the roof. We are going to be putting formwork all around the perimeter of the house so that we can add the 16 inches that we discussed. So that is happening, that is starting next week. Formwork around the perimeter, so you'll be here for that. Also in this area, remember we said that we were removing the window, which we've preserved, and we removed the wall so that we are going to extend this to become a part of the living, dining, kitchen space. So you're going to be seeing the blockwork coming across. I'm excited about the blockwork because blockwork goes up fast, and it's going to make me feel that after we done mash up this house that we are now officially buying back. So you're going to see blockwork starting here, the front windows where we would have removed it into the bedroom. That area is going to be brought forward and it's going to be sealed off as well. So we have some action. But as you know, we're also shopping behind the scenes because things also need to come into the house. Let's go. So I'm giving you a full tour, okay? Because I think you deserve it. I mean, we're rallying well together, and I know a lot of you are doing your own renovations. So Platinum Imports has a number of innovative products for your bathroom and your kitchen. You can also find lighting, mirrors, and ceiling fans. Now, I ain't a big cook, and I am big into washing dishes, but I do feel somewhat inspired. And what I really like about what I am seeing here is that there's so many options to choose from. If you've ever done a renovation, you do get to the point where you can have decision-making fatigue. It is real. As much as we like to go and choose the things, the idea of driving all over the place to pick out things, I could tell you at this stage of my reno, and I'm not even nearly done, it has truly lost its luster. So to be able to go through the website, choose the items, and also share the link with the contractor and the other service providers has been helpful. Because don't send me to buy nothing and then they come back with the wrong thing and you tell me carry it back. Right? That's a no. So I have been able to come and just make sure that, okay, this feels like what I want it to feel like, but it has really streamlined the behind the scenes process to make sure that I not just buy things that look good, but things that work with the fittings and the sockets that we already have in the house. I mentioned earlier in the season, I'm not a garden person, right? So you will never find my house based on the bushes outside, but I do like a sleek finish, and I believe curb appeal matters. So I do pay attention to things like outdoor lighting. This is actually what I came for. Don't mind me being distracted by other things. And I did want the black finish. I don't know who y'all follow on IG, but I follow Crumb's Home and Studio McGee, and you know, they have that whole like creamy coastal-y looking vibe, you know, with the black finishes. Well, you know, I can have that too because everything is in here. And between you and me, the prices in here are actually pretty good. For some reason, I thought that it was going to be hot. It's not hot. I mean, hot is relative, but this really ain't hot. This one that I quite like is $296, and I ain't afraid to ask for a discount. I just want to buy bare electricals from these people. But this is nice, and it, you know, it's a vibe. I am still very traumatized by my bathroom demolition. I'm not over it as yet, and the truth is we haven't yet started to put the bathroom back together. But I was so surprised to see that they have shower enclosures. Now, true story, I lived without a proper shower enclosure at home for a very long time. I almost think that Barbados did not have them. Well, lo and behold, there are clearly many here. So if you're looking for one, you're welcome. They actually have a few very nice ones. And if you're following along, I actually did some recordings for Platinum Imports which will come probably after this show, and it will be speaking specifically about the different features of their enclosures. You're welcome. Okay, this is actually giving me hope. I know that we are very far from my bathroom reno, but I hope you saw something that you liked, and I at least feel that, okay, you know, my bathroom won't always look like a disaster. But while I was walking around, I actually found out about another service that you might find helpful. You can actually come to Platinum Imports and plan your renovation with them. So I mentioned already that you can get all of your electricals here and your steel. You could shop on their website, but you can also view their catalog. So of course, you know, they will have the products that are available in store, but you can shop their master catalog if you wanted to import something very specific. Of course, there's a lead time, which could be anywhere from 4 weeks to 4 months, but trust and believe, as we are seeing, no major renovation will be done in 4 weeks. So if you're planning ahead and you want to get that, you know, designer bespoke feel that's just given rich, you can come up in the people's place, right, and make an appointment and order something from their catalog, because you deserve nice things and I want you to have them. I'm Kelly Johnley, enjoying herself at Platinum Imports, and this is Bajan Renovation. See you next week.